Marcus Johnson stood at the front gate of Westfield High School. His heart beat fast in his chest. This was his first day at a new school, and he was nervous. At 16 years old, Marcus was used to being the new kid. His dad was in the army, so they moved a lot. This was his third school in just 2 years. Marcus looked at the big brick building. Students rushed past him, laughing and talking with their friends. He felt alone. Being new was hard enough, but being one of the few black students made it even harder. He could feel eyes on him as he walked through the gate. "You can do this," Marcus said to himself. He took a deep breath and walked into the school. The hallway was packed with students. Some stopped talking when they saw him. Others just stared. Marcus kept his head high and looked at the paper in his hand. It showed his class schedule and locker number. "Locker 237, you read. He walked down the hallway, looking at the numbers until he found his locker. It was old and dented, but it worked. He put his backpack inside and took out the books he needed for his first class. Marcus checked his schedule again. Room 103, History with Mr. Parker. He looked up at the room numbers and started walking. The bell rang, and students rushed to their classes. Marcus hurried, not wanting to be late on his first day. He found room 103 and walked in. Most seats were already taken. He saw an empty desk near the back and sat down. As he pulled out his notebook, he heard a loud voice. "Hey, new kid." Marcus looked up. A tall, strong-looking boy with blonde hair was standing over him. He wore a red and white sports jacket that said Westfield Tigers across the front. 2 other boys stood behind him, both wearing the same jacket. "You're in my seat," the blonde boy said. His blue eyes were cold. "Sorry, I didn't know," Marcus said calmly. He started to gather his things. "Yeah, well, now you do," the boy said. His name was Tyler Bennett. Everyone in school knew who he was. His family was rich and owned many businesses in town. He was the star quarterback on the football team, and he was used to getting what he wanted. Marcus moved to another empty seat. He could feel Tyler watching him. Marcus had dealt with bullies before. His dad had taught him to stay calm and avoid trouble when possible. Mr. Parker, an older man with glasses and gray hair, started the class. "We have a new student joining us today," he said, looking at Marcus. "Would you like to introduce yourself?" Marcus stood up. "My name is Marcus Johnson. My family just moved here from California." "Why don't you tell us something about yourself?" Mr. Parker asked. Marcus thought for a moment. He didn't want to say too much. "I like sports and reading," he said simply. From the back of the class, Tyler made a fake yawning sound. Some students laughed. Mr. Parker frowned. "Thank you, Marcus. And Tyler, that's enough." Marcus sat down. He knew this was going to be a long day. What Tyler and the others didn't know was that Marcus was more than just the new kid. For 5 years, he had trained in karate. Last summer, he had earned his black belt after years of hard work. His sensei had taught him not just how to fight, but when to fight. "Martial arts are for defense, not for showing off," his sensei had said. "A true fighter knows when to walk away." As Marcus opened his history book, he could feel Tyler staring at him from across the room. He ignored it. He didn't want trouble, but if trouble came looking for him, he would be ready. The first day at Westfield High School had just begun, and Marcus had a feeling it was going to be harder than he thought. The next few days were hard for Marcus. Everywhere he went, Tyler seemed to be there. In the hallway, Tyler would bump into Marcus, making him drop his books. In the cafeteria, Tyler and his friends would point and laugh at Marcus when he sat alone. They called him names that made Marcus's blood boil. But Marcus remembered what his dad and his karate teacher had taught him. "Patience is strength," his sensei would say. So Marcus kept quiet and did not fight back. On Wednesday, Marcus was walking to his math class when he felt a hard push from behind. His books fell to the floor, and papers went everywhere. When Marcus turned around, he saw Tyler and his 2 friends laughing. "Oops, sorry," Tyler said with a fake smile. I didn't see you there. Marcus took a deep breath and bent down to pick up his things. A girl with curly brown hair knelt beside him to help. Don't let them get to you, she said quietly. Tyler does this to everyone he thinks is weak. Thanks, Marcus said, taking the papers she handed him. I'm Marcus. I'm Sarah, she replied. You're in my history class. Tyler walked by and kicked some of Marcus's papers further down the hall. Look at the new couple, he called out. How cute. Sarah's face turned red. Just ignore him, she said to Marcus. He's been like this since elementary school. After Sarah helped Marcus pick up his books, they walked to class together. For the first time since coming to this school, Marcus felt like he had a friend. Why does nobody stand up to Tyler? Marcus asked. Sarah sighed. His dad owns half the town. The principal doesn't want trouble with the Bennett family. And Tyler's the star quarterback, so the coaches protect him too. During lunch, Marcus sat with Sarah and her friends, Jason and Miguel. They were nice to him and asked about his old school in California. Do you play any sports? Jason asked. Marcus hesitated. He didn't want to tell them about his karate training yet. I stay fit, he said simply. As they were talking, a milk carton flew across the table and hit Marcus on the shoulder. Chocolate milk splashed on his new white shirt. The cafeteria got quiet, then filled with laughter. Marcus turned and saw Tyler grinning at him from 2 tables away. Nice shirt, Tyler called out. Marcus could feel his heart beating fast. His hands formed fists under the table. 5 years of karate training had taught him how to fight, but also how to control his anger. Don't, Sarah whispered. That's what he wants. He's trying to get you in trouble. Marcus nodded and took napkins to clean his shirt. The milk had left a big brown stain. You should do something, Miguel said. If you don't stand up to him now, it will just get worse. Fighting isn't always the answer, Marcus replied, thinking of his sensei's words. After school, Marcus went to his locker to get his books. The hallway was almost empty. As he closed his locker, he sensed someone behind him. He turned to see Tyler and his 2 friends, Brad and Zach. Hey, new kid, Tyler said, pushing Marcus against the lockers. You think you're special because Sarah feels sorry for you. I don't want any trouble, Marcus said calmly, though his heart was racing. Too bad, Tyler replied, because trouble found you. Brad and Zach moved to either side of Marcus, blocking any escape. Tyler got closer, his face just inches from Marcus. Tomorrow at lunch, you better sit somewhere else, Tyler warned. Stay away from Sarah and her friends. This school has a way of doing things, and you need to learn your place. Marcus stood straight and looked Tyler in the eyes. I can sit wherever I want, he said quietly but firmly. Tyler's face turned red with anger. He wasn't used to people standing up to him. He pushed Marcus hard against the lockers again. We'll see about that, Tyler hissed. Tomorrow, you'll learn what happens to people who don't listen to me. The 3 boys walked away, leaving Marcus alone by his locker. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes. Tomorrow would be a big day, and he needed to be ready. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Tyler's threat. In his old schools, he had dealt with bullies before, but never one as mean as Tyler. Marcus got out of bed and looked at the framed photo on his desk. It showed him in his white karate uniform, holding his black belt. He had worked so hard for that belt, training for 5 years. Marcus remembered the day he earned it. His sensei, an old man with kind eyes, had told him, "This belt is not just for fighting. It is for wisdom. A true warrior knows when to fight and when to walk away." The next morning, Marcus's dad noticed something was wrong. They sat at the breakfast table, and his dad put down his coffee cup. "What's bothering you, son?" he asked. Marcus sighed. "There's this guy at school who keeps picking on me." His dad nodded. "Have you told a teacher?" "No." Marcus said. That would just make things worse. Well, his dad said, you know what your sensei taught you. Use your training only when you have no other choice. Always try to find a peaceful way first. Marcus nodded. I know, Dad. When Marcus got to school, Sarah was waiting for him at his locker. I was worried about you, she said. Tyler looked really angry yesterday. I'll be fine, Marcus told her, though he wasn't sure. His morning classes went by quickly. Soon it was time for lunch. Marcus walked into the cafeteria and saw Sarah waving to him from their usual table. As he walked over, he felt everyone watching him. Tyler and his friends sat at their table, staring at Marcus. Marcus sat down with Sarah, Jason, and Miguel. You're brave, Jason said. No one ever stands up to Tyler. Marcus shrugged. I just want to eat my lunch in peace. They were halfway through lunch when Tyler stood up and walked toward their table. His friends followed close behind him. The cafeteria got quiet. Even the lunch ladies stopped serving food to watch. Tyler stopped right in front of Marcus. I thought I told you to sit somewhere else, he said loudly. Marcus kept eating his sandwich calmly. And I thought I told you I can sit wherever I want. Tyler's face turned red with anger. You think you're tough, new kid? He asked. Let's see how tough you really are. Marcus stood up slowly. He was shorter than Tyler but stood straight and strong. I don't want to fight you, Tyler, he said clearly so everyone could hear. Tyler laughed. Who said anything about a fair fight? Without warning, Brad and Zach grabbed Marcus by the arms, holding him tight. Marcus could have broken free using his karate skills, but there were teachers watching. He didn't want to get in trouble. Tyler got very close to Marcus's face. Not so tough now, are you? He said with an ugly smile. Marcus stayed calm. Let me go, he said firmly. Or what? Tyler asked, pushing his finger into Marcus's chest. What are you going to do about it? This isn't right, Tyler, Sarah said, standing up. Leave him alone. Stay out of this, Tyler snapped at her. Then he turned back to Marcus. I rule this school. It's time you learned that. The whole cafeteria was watching now. Some students had their phones out, recording what was happening. A teacher started walking toward them from across the room, but she was still far away. Tyler leaned in even closer to Marcus's face. His eyes were cold with hate. You don't belong here, he whispered, so only Marcus could hear. Go back where you came from. Marcus felt a deep anger rising inside him. He had heard words like these before. But he kept his face calm, remembering his training. What happened next shocked everyone. Tyler's face twisted with rage. Then he did something terrible. He spat right in Marcus's face. Warm saliva dripped down Marcus's cheek. A collective gasp filled the cafeteria. Even Brad and Zach looked surprised at what Tyler had done. For Marcus, time seemed to slow down. In that moment, he knew he had a choice to make. The cafeteria was completely silent. Everyone watched as the spit ran down Marcus's face. Some students looked away, feeling embarrassed for him. Others waited to see what would happen next. In that moment, something changed in Marcus. His eyes narrowed. His muscles tensed. Years of karate training had taught him control, but everyone has a breaking point. This was his. Let me go, Marcus said quietly to Brad and Zach, who still held his arms. Something in his voice made them nervous. They looked at Tyler, not sure what to do. Hold him tight, Tyler ordered, grinning at what he had done. Marcus took a deep breath. Then, in one smooth movement, he twisted his body and broke free from Brad and Zach's grip. They stumbled backward, surprised by his sudden strength. Tyler's smile disappeared. He hadn't expected this. What do you think you're doing? He asked, trying to sound tough. Marcus wiped the spit from his face with his sleeve. His movements were calm and controlled. I told you, I don't want to fight, he said. But you're not giving me much choice. Tyler laughed and looked around at the crowd that had gathered. Look at this guy. He thinks he can take me on. Tyler, stop it, Sarah shouted. The teachers are coming. Indeed, 2 teachers were pushing through the crowd of students, but they were still too far away to stop what was about to happen. Tyler threw a quick punch at Marcus's face. To everyone's surprise, Marcus moved his head slightly to the side. Tyler's fist missed completely, passing through the air where Marcus's head had been just a second before. Tyler's eyes widened in shock. He threw another punch, harder this time. Again, Marcus dodged it easily, as if he could see the punch coming in slow motion. "What the?" Tyler started to say. But before he could finish, Marcus moved. His movements were fast but controlled. He grabbed Tyler's arm as it went past his face, using Tyler's own momentum against him. With a simple twist and push, Marcus sent Tyler spinning off balance. Tyler fell hard onto a lunch table, food and trays flying everywhere. The cafeteria erupted in gasps and shouts. Tyler got up quickly, his face red with anger and embarrassment. Food stains covered his expensive jacket. "You're dead," he yelled, charging at Marcus like a bull. This time, Marcus didn't just dodge. As Tyler reached him, Marcus stepped to the side and stuck out his foot. At the same time, he pushed Tyler's shoulder gently but firmly. The move was so smooth and perfect that it looked like a dance. Tyler tripped over Marcus's foot and went flying. He crashed into the trash cans at the side of the cafeteria, knocking them over. Garbage spilled everywhere. Tyler lay on the floor, covered in lunch leftovers and trash. The cafeteria was silent for a moment. Then someone started to laugh. Soon, many students were laughing and cheering. Tyler Bennett, the school bully who had tormented so many of them, was lying in a pile of garbage. The teachers finally arrived, pushing through the crowd. "What is going on here?" Mrs. Chen, the math teacher, demanded. Tyler attacked Marcus, Sarah said quickly. Marcus was just defending himself. He spat in Marcus's face, Jason added, pointing at Tyler. "And we all saw it," Miguel said, holding up his phone. "I got it on video." Mrs. Chen looked at the fallen Tyler, then at Marcus, who stood calmly in the center of the chaos. "Marcus Johnson, Tyler Bennett, come with me to the principal's office right now," she said firmly. As Marcus followed Mrs. Chen, the students parted to let him through. Some patted him on the back. Others looked at him with new respect in their eyes. Sarah gave him a thumbs up. Tyler got up from the floor, brushing garbage from his clothes. His face showed pure hatred as he glared at Marcus. "This isn't over," he muttered as he followed the teacher. Marcus knew Tyler was right. This was far from over. But something had changed. For the first time since coming to this school, Marcus walked with his head held high. Principal Wilson was a tall man with gray hair and glasses. He sat behind his big desk, looking at Marcus and Tyler with a serious face. Both boys sat in chairs across from him. Tyler's clothes were still dirty from the garbage, and he smelled bad. Marcus sat straight and calm. "Fighting is not allowed in this school," Principal Wilson said in a stern voice. "I'm very disappointed in both of you." "He started it," Tyler said quickly, pointing at Marcus. "He attacked me for no reason." Marcus stayed quiet. He knew the truth would come out. Mrs. Chen stepped forward. "Sir, many students said Tyler spat in Marcus's face first, and several of them recorded videos of what happened." Principal Wilson frowned and looked at Tyler. "Is this true, Mr. Bennett?" Tyler's face turned red. He was disrespecting me. He wouldn't listen when I told him where he could sit. The principal sighed and rubbed his forehead. "Mrs. Chen, could you please get those videos from the students?" While they waited, Marcus and Tyler sat in silence. Tyler glared at Marcus with hate in his eyes. Marcus just looked straight ahead. Mrs. Chen returned with Miguel, who showed his phone to the principal. On the screen, they could all clearly see Tyler spitting in Marcus's face, then trying to punch him. They could see how Marcus defended himself without actually hurting Tyler. After watching the video, Principal Wilson looked at Marcus with new interest. "Where did you learn to move like that, Mr. Johnson?" "I studied karate for 5 years, sir," Marcus answered honestly. "I have a black belt." Tyler's mouth fell open in shock. He hadn't known this about Marcus. "I see," said Principal Wilson. He thought for a moment, then made his decision. "Tyler Bennett, you are suspended for 2 weeks for bullying, using hate speech, and physical assault." "What?" Tyler shouted, jumping up from his chair. "My father will hear about this." "I'm sure he will," the principal replied calmly. "And I'll be happy to show him the video of you spitting in another student's face. Now please wait outside while I talk to Marcus." Tyler stormed out, slamming the door behind him. Principal Wilson turned to Marcus. "Fighting is against school rules, even in self-defense. However, given the circumstances, I'm only giving you a warning this time." "Thank you, sir," Marcus said. "But," the principal continued, "I am curious. With your skills, you could have really hurt Tyler. Why didn't you?" Marcus thought about what his sensei had taught him. "My karate teacher always said that a true martial artist shows control. We train to avoid fights, not to win them. I just wanted him to stop." Principal Wilson nodded, impressed. "Well, I hope this is the end of the trouble between you two. You can go back to class now." When Marcus left the office, Tyler was gone. The hallways were empty because classes had already started. As Marcus walked to his class, he wondered what would happen next. Would Tyler leave him alone now, or would this make things worse? When school ended that day, everyone was talking about what had happened in the cafeteria. As Marcus walked to his locker, other students smiled at him and said hello. Some even high-fived him. He was no longer just the new kid. Now he was the kid who stood up to Tyler Bennett. Sarah, Jason, and Miguel waited for him at his locker. "That was amazing," Jason said, his eyes wide with excitement. "Where did you learn to fight like that?" "It's not fighting," Marcus corrected him. "It's self-defense. I've been training in karate since I was 11. "Well, whatever it is, it was awesome," Miguel said. Tyler had it coming for a long time. Sarah looked worried. "But aren't you scared?" "Tyler's not going to let this go. His family is powerful in this town." Marcus closed his locker and turned to his friends. "I didn't come looking for trouble, but I won't let anyone bully me or spit in my face. Whatever happens next, I'll deal with it." As they walked out of school together, Marcus felt different. For the first time since moving to this town, he had real friends, and he had stood up for himself without compromising his principles. But deep down, Marcus knew Sarah was right. This wasn't over. Tyler would be back, and he would be looking for revenge. The 2 weeks of Tyler's suspension were peaceful for Marcus. He made more friends at school, and people treated him with respect. Some students even asked him to teach them karate moves. Marcus was happy to show them some basic self-defense techniques during lunch breaks. But not everyone was friendly. Brad and Zach, Tyler's close friends, glared at Marcus in the hallways. They didn't dare to bully him anymore, but Marcus could feel their anger. One day after school, Marcus was walking home when a black car pulled up beside him. The window rolled down, and Marcus saw a man who looked like an older version of Tyler. He had the same blonde hair and cold blue eyes. "You're Marcus Johnson, right?" the man asked. Marcus nodded, feeling uneasy. "I'm Richard Bennett, Tyler's father," the man said. "Get in the car. We need to talk." "No thank you, sir," Marcus replied politely but firmly. "I'll just walk home." Mr. Bennett's face hardened. "Do you know who I am in this town, boy? I own the biggest business here. I give jobs to half the parents in your school." "I still prefer to walk, sir," Marcus said, starting to move away. "You humiliated my son," Mr. Bennett called after him. "Nobody does that to a Bennett. Remember, I have friends everywhere in this town. Your father works at the army base, right? I wonder how long his job will last." Marcus stopped walking. His heart beat fast with anger. but he kept his face calm. He turned back to Mr. Bennett. "Are you threatening my family, sir?" he asked quietly. Mr. Bennett smiled, but his eyes stayed cold. "Just stating facts. Actions have consequences, boy. Think about that." The car drove away, leaving Marcus standing on the sidewalk. His hands were shaking, not from fear, but from trying to control his anger. He took deep breaths, like his sensei had taught him. When Marcus got home, he found his dad sitting at the kitchen table with a serious look. "I got a strange call today," his dad said, "from my boss. Asking questions about you, something about a fight at school." Marcus sat down and told his father everything. About Tyler's bullying, the incident in the cafeteria, and now the meeting with Mr. Bennett. His dad listened carefully. When Marcus finished, he nodded slowly. "I'm proud of you for defending yourself without hurting that boy," his dad said. "But these Bennett people sound like trouble." "Mr. Bennett threatened your job, Dad," Marcus said, his voice tight with worry. His dad reached across the table and put his hand on Marcus's shoulder. "Don't worry about that. The Army doesn't fire people because some rich guy in town makes a phone call. We'll be fine." The next day at school, Sarah was waiting for Marcus at his locker. Her face looked worried. "Did Tyler's dad find you yesterday?" she asked. Marcus was surprised. "How did you know about that?" "My mom works as a secretary at Bennett Industries," Sarah explained. "She overheard Mr. Bennett talking about teaching you a lesson. Marcus, you need to be careful. The Bennetts don't play fair." "I can handle Tyler," Marcus said. "It's not just Tyler now," Sarah warned. "His whole family is involved. They have money and power in this town." Throughout the day, Marcus noticed people whispering when he walked by. Some of his new friends suddenly acted distant. Even some teachers looked at him differently. At lunch, only Sarah, Jason, and Miguel sat with him. "What's going on?" Marcus asked. "Why is everyone acting weird?" Jason leaned forward and spoke quietly. "Rumors are spreading about you, that you're a troublemaker. That you attacked Tyler for no reason. That your family has problems." "That's not true," Marcus said, his voice rising. "We know," Miguel assured him. "But the Bennetts are spreading these stories, and people believe them because they're afraid." Marcus looked around the cafeteria. He could feel the stares. In just one day, things had changed. He went from being respected to being an outsider again. "Tyler comes back next week," Sarah said, "and I'm afraid things will get much worse." Marcus nodded. The peaceful 2 weeks were ending. A bigger storm was coming. Monday morning came too quickly. Marcus stood at his locker, feeling everyone's eyes on him. Today was the day Tyler would return to school after his suspension. "You ready for this?" Jason asked, standing beside Marcus. "I have to be," Marcus replied. He had spent the weekend practicing karate in his garage, going through the forms and movements that helped calm his mind. The first bell rang, and students hurried to their classes. Marcus didn't see Tyler all morning, which made him even more nervous. It was like waiting for a storm to hit. At lunchtime, Marcus sat with Sarah, Jason, and Miguel. They were talking about the math test coming up when the cafeteria suddenly got quiet. Tyler walked in, but he looked different. His usual confident smile was gone. He kept his head down and walked straight to an empty table, where Brad and Zach were waiting for him. A few other students joined them, but many who used to sit with Tyler now kept their distance. "That's weird," Miguel whispered. "I expected him to come in here looking for a fight." Sarah watched Tyler carefully. "Something's not right. He looks broken." Marcus had to agree. The Tyler who had returned was not the same boy who had bullied him before. This Tyler seemed smaller somehow, less sure of himself. After lunch, Marcus was at his locker when he felt someone approach. He turned quickly, ready to defend himself, but it was only the school counselor, Ms. Rivera. "Marcus, could you come with me, please?" she asked with a kind smile. In her office, Ms. Rivera offered Marcus a chair and a cookie from a jar on her desk. "I want to talk to you about Tyler Bennett," she said. Marcus felt his body tense up. What about him? His suspension ended today, but he's been through a lot these past 2 weeks, Ms. Rivera explained. After the video of the cafeteria incident spread around town, things changed for Tyler and his family. "What do you mean?" Marcus asked, surprised. "The Bennett family has had power in this town for a long time," Ms. Rivera said, "but they're not above the law. When people saw how Tyler behaved, many parents complained to the school board. Some even pulled their business from Bennett Industries." Marcus hadn't expected this. He thought the Bennetts were untouchable. "Tyler's father is angry," Ms. Rivera continued, "but not at you anymore. He's angry at Tyler for embarrassing the family name. Tyler has been having a hard time at home." Marcus felt a strange mix of feelings. He was glad the Bennetts couldn't hurt his family now, but he also felt sorry for Tyler. He knew what it was like to disappoint a parent. "What does this have to do with me?" Marcus asked. Ms. Rivera leaned forward. "Tyler needs help to change. The school board wants him to take anti-bullying classes and anger management therapy, and they've suggested that you might help too." "Me?" Marcus was shocked. "How can I help?" "Your karate training taught you discipline and control," Ms. Rivera said. "The principal was impressed by how you defended yourself without hurting Tyler. We thought maybe you could show Tyler some of that discipline." Marcus couldn't believe what he was hearing. They'd wanted him to help the boy who had bullied him, spat in his face, and whose father had threatened his family. "I don't know if I can do that," Marcus said honestly. "Just think about it," Ms. Rivera replied. "Sometimes the best way to defeat an enemy is to make them a friend." After school, Marcus told his friends about the strange meeting with Ms. Rivera. "They want you to teach Tyler karate?" Jason asked, his eyes wide. "That's crazy. What if he uses it to hurt other kids?" "Real martial arts isn't about hurting people," Marcus explained. "It's about control and respect. Still, after everything he did to you." Miguel shook his head in disbelief. Sarah was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Maybe this is your chance to really change things, Marcus. Not just for you, but for everyone at school." As they walked home, Marcus spotted Tyler sitting alone on a bench in the park. He looked sad and angry at the same time. Marcus stopped walking. "What are you thinking?" Sarah asked. Marcus took a deep breath. "I'm thinking that tomorrow is going to be very interesting." The next day after school, Marcus made a decision. He told his friends to go home without him. Then he walked to the park where he had seen Tyler sitting alone the day before. Sure enough, Tyler was there again, throwing small rocks into a pond. He didn't notice Marcus approaching until Marcus was standing right next to him. Tyler jumped up, his body tense. "What do you want? Come to laugh at me too?" "No," Marcus said calmly. "I came to talk." Tyler's eyes narrowed with suspicion. "About what?" "Ms. Rivera told me about the school board's idea," Marcus said. "About me teaching you some karate." Tyler's face turned red. "I don't need your help. I don't need anyone's help." He turned to walk away. "My sensei used to say that the strongest people are the ones who know when to ask for help," Marcus called after him. Tyler stopped walking, but didn't turn around. "Everyone fails sometimes," Marcus continued. "What matters is how you get back up." Slowly, Tyler turned to face Marcus. His eyes were red, like he had been crying. "Why would you help me after what I did to you?" Marcus thought about this question. It was a good one. Why should he help someone who had been so cruel to him? "Because karate taught me that true strength isn't about beating others," he finally said. "It's about controlling yourself and helping people, even when it's hard." Tyler looked at the ground. "My dad says I'm weak." A disappointment. Marcus felt a flash of sympathy. He understood family pressure. "Sounds like a tough dad." "You have no idea," Tyler said bitterly. "Now everything's worse. Our business is losing money. People look at us differently, and it's all my fault." They stood in silence for a moment. Then Marcus took a bold step. "Hit me," he said. Tyler looked up in surprise. "What?" "Try to hit me," Marcus repeated. "Right here, right now." Tyler hesitated, then threw a clumsy punch at Marcus's face. Marcus easily moved his head to the side, avoiding the punch completely. "Again," Marcus said. Tyler threw another punch and another. Marcus dodged each one without even raising his hands. After a few tries, Tyler was breathing hard. "How do you do that?" he asked, genuinely curious. "Years of practice," Marcus answered. "But it starts with learning to control your body and your mind." Tyler wiped sweat from his forehead. "And you teach me that, even after I, spat in your face." Marcus nodded. "If you're really willing to learn, not just the moves, but the discipline and respect that goes with them." Tyler thought for a long moment. Then he did something that shocked Marcus. He bowed, just like Marcus did at the beginning of karate class. "I'm sorry for how I treated you," Tyler said, his voice shaking a little. "And I want to learn." Marcus bowed back, a small smile on his face. "Then let's start with the basics." For the next hour, Marcus showed Tyler simple karate stances and movements. Tyler was a quick learner, and by the end, he was sweating but smiling. "Same time tomorrow?" Marcus asked as they were finishing up. Tyler nodded. "Yeah, thanks, Marcus." As Marcus walked home, he felt strange but good. If someone had told him 2 weeks ago that he would be teaching karate to the boy who had bullied him, he would have thought they were crazy. His phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. "How did it go?" Marcus typed back, "Better than I expected. He's actually not so bad when he's not trying to be a jerk." That night, Marcus told his dad about his day. His father looked at him with pride in his eyes. "You're becoming a true martial artist, son," he said. "Fighting is easy. Making peace is much harder." Marcus smiled. For the first time since coming to this school, he felt like he was exactly where he needed to be. 3 months passed. The spring air was warm as students gathered in the school gym. Parents sat in folding chairs, phones ready to take pictures. Today was a special day, the first karate exhibition at Westfield High School. Principal Wilson stood at the microphone. "Welcome, everyone. Today we are proud to present our new karate club, led by our very own student, Marcus Johnson." The crowd clapped as Marcus walked to the center of the gym. He wore his white karate uniform with his black belt tied neatly around his waist. He bowed to the audience. "Thank you all for coming," Marcus said. "When I first came to this school, I was just the new kid trying to fit in. Today, I stand here with new friends who have learned the true meaning of martial arts, respect, discipline, and self-control." Marcus waved his hand, and 12 students in white uniforms walked out and lined up behind him. Among them were Sarah, Jason, Miguel, and surprisingly, Tyler Bennett. Many people in the crowd looked shocked to see Tyler and Marcus standing side by side. Just a few months ago, they had been enemies. Now they were teacher and student. "We will now demonstrate what we've learned," Marcus announced. The students paired up and showed basic karate moves. They practiced blocks, punches, and kicks with control and focus. Tyler moved with surprising grace. His face showed concentration instead of the angry looks he used to have. After the group demonstration, Marcus called Tyler forward. "Tyler has worked harder than anyone these past few months. He has earned the right to show a special demonstration with me." The two boys bowed to each other. Then they performed a choreographed sparring routine that looked like a beautiful, dangerous dance. Their movements were fast but controlled. The audience watched in amazement as former enemies moved in perfect harmony. When they finished, everyone stood up and clapped loudly. Tyler's face broke into a genuine smile, perhaps the first real smile many people had ever seen from him. After the exhibition, people gathered around the students to congratulate them. Mr. Bennett, Tyler's father, approached Marcus and Tyler. "That was impressive," he said, looking uncomfortable. It was clear he wasn't used to giving compliments. "Thanks, Dad," Tyler said, standing tall. Mr. Bennett turned to Marcus and cleared his throat. "I may have misjudged you, young man, what you've done for my son." He paused, searching for words. "Well, let's just say I owe you an apology." Marcus nodded, accepting the apology without words. Mr. Bennett put his hand on Tyler's shoulder, a gesture of pride that made Tyler stand even taller. Later, as they were cleaning up the gym, Sarah helped Marcus roll up the mats. "Did you ever imagine this would happen when Tyler spat in your face that day?" she asked. Marcus laughed. "Never. That day, I just wanted to defend myself. I never thought we'd end up here." "You changed him," Sarah said. "You changed the whole school." Marcus shook his head. "He changed himself. I just showed him how." The next day at lunch, something remarkable happened. Tyler sat at Marcus's table, and no one found it strange anymore. Brad and Zach joined them too, along with many other students. The table that once held just 4 friends, Marcus, Sarah, Jason, and Miguel, now couldn't fit everyone who wanted to sit there. As Marcus looked around at all the faces, he remembered his first day at Westfield High. He had been alone and afraid of not fitting in. Now he had found his place, not by fighting or hiding who he was, but by staying true to his principles. "We need a bigger table," Tyler joked, squeezing in beside Marcus. "Or maybe just more tables pushed together," Marcus replied with a smile. And that's exactly what they did. Pushed tables together until there was room for everyone. It became a symbol of how Westfield High had changed. No more separate tables for different groups. No more bullies and victims. Just students sharing lunch and stories together. Marcus's father received new orders that summer. They would be moving again. But this time, Marcus wasn't worried about being the new kid. He had learned that staying true to himself was what mattered most, and he knew that wherever he went next, he would carry these lessons with him.